Hello students, I'm Siraj Khan, lecturer in English cast. Welcome to my subject Morphology and Syntax. Our course code is English 262 and it's our lecture number 16. Today we are talking about phrase in its types. What is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words that work together to make meaning, but it is not a complete sentence. In other words, it does not have both a subject and a verb. Phrases are units of meaning that can be put together to make up sentences. Simply, it's a group of words that cannot give us complete meaning. Why? Because we don't have a subject and a predicate in a group. The outlines will go like, first of all, we will talk about what is a phrase, its types. The first, that is noun phrase. We are having verb phrases, prepositional phrases, adverbial phrases, appositive phrases, participial phrases, gerund phrases, infinitive phrases. Phrase is a group of words without both a subject and a predicate. Phrases combine words into a larger unit that can function as a sentence element, not a sentence. For example, a participial phrase can include adjectives, nouns, prepositions, adverbs as a single unit. However, it functions as one big adjective modifying a noun or noun phrase. A phrase is a group of words without a subject and verb. Verb here stands for predicate. So it is a group of words without a subject and a predicate that functions in a sentence as one part of speech. For example, leaving behind the dog, smashing into a fence, before the first test. These are some of the examples of phrases. Now, one by one, we will talk about phrases as we are having noun phrase. Noun phrases are simply nouns with modifiers, just as nouns can act as subjects, objects, and prepositional objects, so can noun phrases. Similarly, noun phrases can also work in a sentence as adjectives, participles, infinitives, and prepositional are absolute phrases. It consists of a noun in all its modifiers. Modifier can come before or after the noun. If it comes before the noun, it's likely to be an article, possessive noun, possessive pronoun, adjective, or participle. When in a noun phrase, a modifier can be an article, possessive noun, possessive pronoun, adjective, or participle. And modifiers can come after the noun, include prepositional phrases, adjective clauses, participle phrases, and infinitives. The best way to clear all that up is to explore some examples of noun phrases in action. Like the bewildered tourist was lost. The bolded words are noun phrases. The last puppy was a wet and stinky dog. The last puppy. Two noun phrases are here. The last puppy followed by a verb and then an object. A wet and stinky dog. Here it is as a subject. The flu clinic had seen many cases of infectious disease. Here as an object, it was a story as old as time. A story as old as time is a noun phrase. The sports car drove the long and winding road. The sports car. So here in all these examples, the bewildered tourist, here noun phrase as a subject. The last puppy, here the noun phrase as subject. A wet and stinky dog as an object. The flu clinic as a subject. It was a story as old as time as an object. The sports car, it's a noun phrase, is a subject. The long and winding road, that is the object with the verb drove. Saturday became a cool, wet afternoon. Noun phrase is a prepositional object. Preposition. Here we don't have any preposition. Here it is an object. Cool, wet afternoon. Here the second, that is verb phrase. A verb phrase can be the predicate of a sentence or a clause. Verb phrases are one of the 8 types of phrases in a sentence. They include the helping verb and main verb in a sentence. The verb phrase can refer to the whole predicate of a sentence, like I was watching my favorite show yesterday. Just the verb, our verb group was watching. That is, here he was waiting for the rain to stop. Helping verbs, was. Helping verbs are also known as auxiliary verbs, are linking verbs. And the proper sentence structure requires both a subject and a verb. Like in a sentence, we must have a subject and a verb like predicate. But unless that verb is in the past or present tense, sentences use verb phrases. Using the correct verb phrase structure depends on the verb tense, the subject, and the mood of the sentence. Like when forming verb phrases, it's helpful to know which verbs go in each position. Like helping verb, we are having was is known as auxiliary verbs or sometimes linking verbs. They are short words that connect the subject with the rest of the sentence. Is forms of to be is am, is, are, was, were are helping verbs. Forms of to have, like sometimes we are having have, has, and had. Forms of to do, like do, does, did. Mostly in verb phrases, these short verbs function as finite verbs, like which establish tense, speaker, and mood, but don't make sense on their own. They use non-finite verbs to indicate what is happening in the sentence. For example, Ali is tutoring his brother. The verb phrase is tutoring contains the finite verb is, like here he was waiting for the rain to stop. So it indicates that the sentence is in present tense, past tense. The example is Ali is tutoring his brother, or he was waiting for the bus, or he was playing in the playground. So the sentence is in present tense, or if it is in the past continuous tense, speaker is singular, and that the mood is indicative. The word playing, tutoring, Waiting, watching is a participle, which is a verb used as an adjective, like tutoring describes Tom in this sentence. Sometime we can also create verb phrases without helping verbs, like the author wrote a new book. So these sentences can only be said in present or past verb tenses. For example, the author wrote a new book, or I made an A in this class, or the dog eats the cake, or he walked to work today, or uh, they married after college. Like all phrases, verb phrases express an idea but cannot stand alone as a sentence. They can also include modifiers, complements, direct or indirect objects as complete verb phrases. You have been sleeping for a long time. Sometimes we are having auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries, or models, or is which is a kind of helping verb, as these verbs express possibility, obligation, and suggestions. As we are having can, could, may, might, ought, must, should, will, would, like um, and these are also finite verbs. They aren't conjugated in different tenses, but they do establish the speaker and mood. Examples of sentence verb phrases that have modal verbs, like you might enjoy a message, or you may finish your homework tomorrow, or should we drive to the concert together. And there are so many other examples, like can everyone hear my instructions, or he will buy a gift for her before the party. The modal verb will appears in sentences set in the future tense. Other modal verbs let listeners know that they have permission or obligation to complete the other verb in the verb phrase. He was eager to eat dinner. Some of the examples. Do you understand the easy question? Your teachers have finished your report card. Our phrase here is it can be the predicate of a sentence or a clause, like have finished. Your teachers have finished. In this case, there will usually be a helping verb in addition to the verb, like have finished. Or where you can have other examples, like mm, the shoes don't fit his feet, or I should ask the director his opinion. We aren't allowed to go in there. Prepositional phrases are group of words containing prepositions. Remember that prepositions are words that indicate the relationships between various elements within a sentence, and you will never have difficulty identifying prepositional phrases, like the food on the table looked delicious. A prepositional phrase which has a preposition as its head can function as an adjective, adverb, or even as a noun. Like a prepositional phrase is a group of words that lacks either a verb or a subject and that functions as a unified part of speech. It normally consists of a preposition and a noun or a preposition and in a pronoun. Like for example, there are certain rules for prepositional phrases and you will find that using them becomes much easier. For example, prepositional phrases always consist of two basic parts at minimum: the object and the preposition. One, that is the object and preposition. In formal English, prepositions are almost always followed by objects. So every preposition will always, like almost always, followed by the objects. And third, adjectives can be placed between the prepositions and objects in prepositional phrases. So adjectives in between prepositions and object. Number 4, prepositional phrases can act as adverbs or adjectives. Number 5, when prepositional phrases are used as adverbs, they act the same way single word adverbs and adverb clauses do, modifying adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. Some examples are here: on the freshly pressed white jacket. So preposition on, object of preposition on the freshly pressed white jacket. Here preposition with to besides the driftwood and seawood. So beside is a preposition, the driftwood object of preposition, and seawood object of preposition, double prepositions. As we can have other examples like the cupcake with sprinkles is yours. With sprinkles is yours. The cupcake with colorful sprinkles is yours. We climbed up the hill. We climbed up the very steep hill. Participial phrases: crushed to pieces by a sledgehammer, the computer no longer worked, or I think the guy sitting over there likes you. A participial phrase has a past or present participle as its head. Participial phrases always function as adjectives. A participial phrase is a participle modified by an adverb or adverb phrase or accompanied by complement. For example, burning brightly, the fire lit up the room. Holding the snake, I felt its cool skin. Infinitive phrases: I love to bake cakes. An infinitive phrase is a noun phrase with an infinitive is its head. An infinitive phrase is the infinitive form of a verb plus any complements and modifiers. The complement of an infinitive verb will often be its direct object, and the modifier will often be an adverb. He likes to knead the dough slowly. The infinitive form of a verb plus any complements and modifiers. For example, I want to bury the treasure quickly. So I want to bury the treasure quickly. Infinitive form to bury, a complement, a direct object, the treasure, modifier, adverb is To bury the treasure quickly, infinitive phrase. To bake cakes is like here, I love to bake cakes. So the infinitive form to bake. Here, cake is complement, a direct object. Infinitive and infinitive phrases. An infinitive phrase is an infinitive with modifiers, a complement, or a subject, all acting together as a single part of speech. For example, the baby wanted to wiggle continuously. To wiggle. I plan to visit during the afternoon. To visit. The afternoon is an infinitive phrase. The student asked the college to send a catalog. To send a catalog is an infinitive phrase. Gerund phrase. First of all, we should know what is a gerund. Gerund is a verb, present participle form of a verb that works as a noun. I love baking cakes. A gerund phrase is just a noun phrase with a gerund as its head. So ing form of verb works as a noun in a sentence is a gerund. A gerund phrase is a gerund with modifiers or a complement all acting together as a noun. For example, worrying about the deadline prevented the writer from sleeping. So worrying is a gerund and it is a gerund phrase. Fishing from the pier is permitted. So fishing here participle form of verb working as a noun. A positive phrase is Bob, my best friend, works here, or my best friend Bob works here. And a positive single word phrase or clause renames another noun, not technically modifying it, like a positive and a positive phrases are words placed next to nouns and pronouns to provide additional information, like Bob followed by my best friend. So here a positive phrase is modifying or providing additional information about Bob. And a positive is a noun or pronoun placed next to another noun or pronoun to identify, rename, or explain it. For example, she did not care for his hobby, running. My friend Marilyn broke her collarbone. Adverbial phrases the adverbial phrase has also two definitions. Some say it's a group of adverbs very quickly, like very quickly, while others say it's any phrase, usually a prepositional phrase that acts as an adverb. Simply, it is a group of words that functions as an adverb. For example, Jack will sit in silence. The adverbial phrase in silence is functioning as an adverb of manner. It tells how Jack sat. How If we compare, like Jack will sit quietly, this is a normal adverb. This example has been included to prove that in silence is an adverb. I will sit like a monk meditates. This is an adverbial clause. It includes a subject, a monk, and a verb, meditates. Adverb phrase is a prepositional phrase that modifies a verb, an adjective or adverb by pointing out where, when, in what manner, or to what extent. For example, we are having wanting to impress Hashim, Ali planned to make reservations at an expensive restaurant. Make reservations where? In an expensive at an expensive restaurant. The volcano rumbled in the early morning. Rumbled when? Early morning. Tom consumed the Sunday in short order consumed in what manner? The shovel bed deep into the earth, deep to what extent? Adjective phrases. Adjective phrase is a group of words that describe a noun or pronoun in a sentence. It describes noun or pronoun in a sentence. The adjective in an adjective phrase can appear at the start, end, or in the middle of the phrase. The adjective phrase can be placed before or after the noun or pronoun in a sentence. For example, for Khan, fame is the only reason for writing. The movie was not too terrible. A person smarter than me needs to figure out what kind of reason. The lamp on Han's desk was a friendship gift. Which lamp? In literature, like sometime we find adjective phrases which can be helpful to describe the subject of the sentence and add some interest to you to the writing, like we are having examples in Charles Dickens' novel A Christmas Carol. It was cold, bleak, biting weather. As we are having an example in Edgar Allan Poe's In the Raven, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Thank you very much. Have a great day.